Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Preimesberger, editor of eWEEK. Thanks for joining us today for our eWEEK eSpeaks interview with Chris Calvert, who's the CTO and co-founder of a company called Respond Software, and coming to us today from Boulder, Colorado. Chris, welcome.
Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, congratulations on your first name. I know you probably didn't have a choice in that, but it's a good name. Tell me a little bit about your background.
So I'm a security operations center builder. Going back to the mid 1990s, I've built a large number of security operations centers, usually like a 1 or 2 year on-site, train the analysts, put in the technology, do the process and procedure, and sort of help everybody run. And that's where I sort of learned to understand all of this problem that we're working to solve here at Respond.
Mm-hmm.
So
You've got a pretty illustrious background with some fairly well-known companies, I understand.
I have worked. I've worked at HP. I've worked at IBM. I spent 14 years with the government, including 10 years in the Army. Just another way to understand the overuse of process and procedure, which we are trying to get away from.
That's great. Tell me about Respond, how it originated, and how long it's been around and in the market.
Okay, so we're actually coming close to a 5-year-old company, and we came about because a number of us were working in the HP ArcSight line of business. Our CEO and my co-founder Mike Armistead, we started talking, and I was telling him things are not working. We're not catching bad guys. We're losing what we've had before, and we need to figure out a way to solve it. And we got exposed to a new form of mathematics that's been coming out of Stanford for about the last 15 years. And we figured out a way to take the human reasoning process that people had been doing on console in a SOC and put it into math. And basically, that sounds a little bit like we're gonna take those people's jobs away, and there's a lot of nervousness around that. But in fact, analysts are chained to the console right now where they monitor alerts, and we hired them to be detectives. So here's the opportunity to unchain them from the console and let them become detectives that we've hired them and trained them to be.
So Respond, it sounds like it's doing a lot of automated duties and processes in the background, right?
Well, we're actually doing console monitoring. We monitor all of your security alerts because you have lots of sensors that you put out there to protect your network. And it's a very difficult job to look at all the events and alerts they produce. Humans, on average, look at about 1 out of every million that is produced. We can look at every single one of them.
One out of a million? Really?
That's a typical average. Of a million alerts you collect into your SIM, a human's only going to look at one of them.
Wow, I had no clue it was that low of an instance reading. Wow.
It's the real challenge, and this is actually what we're trying to change. It's where human meets data. And right now, human meets data at the log file, and that's just too raw of a level. We need to bring it up to where human is meeting data, where the situation has been explained and understood and sort of put together automatically so that human can investigate and react rapidly.
Okay, so it's monitoring all these processes. How does it actually work in the real world? Is this a cloud service? Is this on a server? Is it either or it depends on the company?
It's actually either or, and depends on the company. We have a back end that is the decision engine, or what we're now calling our XDR engine, as this category is coming up, and that's a dedicated customer SaaS environment. But then there's an on-prem or cloud component that customers can put in. If they're all cloud, they can put an OVA in their cloud, or if they're a traditional on-prem business, they can put an on-prem server in. And these are small boxes basically designed to ensure their privacy. So we tokenize everything so that we can do all of our math on fully anonymous data.
And wow, turning all this data into numerical data, and then from there, can the data scientists work on it from there, or is that it, or what?
We actually do all of the data science for you. So data science for detection, that's been my specialty for way too many years to even think about. And putting that, it's too hard for people to do. It's too hard for people to hire. There's a lot of, you can't just have a data scientist. You got to have a data scientist and a subject matter expert and a knowledge engineer working together to make it all work. And so we do that for you. But our customers are hugely important to us because of the way we're doing machine learning on the back end of our models. Every time they give feedback in our tool, that becomes supervised machine learning that we are crowdsourcing. So all of our customers benefit from all of our other customers' feedback.
Yeah, this is something I've seen in the IT business for a while, is that successful companies really kind of aggregate all that data that their customers have. It's anonymized. It's not going to be a security problem for anybody, but you can improve your product based on a lot of that aggregate information. And all it does is multiply itself in value, I think, right?
That's absolutely right. And actually, even more than that, afterwards, after all of the data has been through our models and been reasoned, you can do scientific management with that data. For example, you can look at your sensor suite and your detection grid components and try and figure out what's working, what's not working, what's been tuned down too far, what's placed in the wrong location. And you've got real good data science to help you understand that.
Yeah.
And what we've traditionally done in the SOC is we've measured the human, and they didn't love it. They don't love being, first call resolution type metrics. And we're giving them data that's poor in quality. Let's go apply scientific management techniques to that data and then let the humans be the investigators and the creative folks that they really are.
Yeah, humans are always the wild card in any kind of a process, for sure. Can you just run through a high-level use case that a reader might use to kind of understand in a real way how it works?
Absolutely. And, I'll even make it just a little bit more complicated, just because that's sort of how our stuff works. If you think about, a user that might have been infected via an email sent into them, and they clicked the link and now they're downloading malware. We have this concept called integrated reasoning, where we take security sensors around your environment and we put them together using data science. So all of those things are valid. So we would see potentially the email coming in via network intrusion detection. We would see the user clicking on the link and going to the illegal site via URL filtering. And then we would see them install malware via their EPP or EDR agents on their host. And we can put all of those together so that we end up with like a fully corroborated incident about what's happening to that individual that we can just hand over to an incident response team. And the integration of those makes them much more powerful than any one by itself.
Wow, all that information would have taken days or weeks to compile otherwise, right?
Indeed. We call it swivel chairing or pivoting, and analysts do it now, nonstop. And we're trying to take that away so that they can, I call it the 3 C's, right? There's a place where humans fit perfectly in security operations, and that's creativity, collaboration, and creativity, collaboration, and I forgot my 3rd C.
Chris Calvert.
Yeah, there you go.
That's okay. And you think of it, let me know. It's okay.
Curiosity. It was curiosity.
Curiosity. There you go.
Those are the things I can't do with a machine.
Yeah, great. Those are good to walk away with. Appreciate that. So, Chris Calvert, CTO of Respond Software. Thank you very, very much for being on eSpeaks. If someone wanted to follow up with Respond, is it respondsoftware.com or what is the URL?
It's respond-software.com, even though I suspect it will resolve without the dash as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Chris, thanks again for being with us and for introducing us to the company. I think you're in a good lane there.
Well, I really appreciate you having us on. Thank you, Chris.
Okay. For everybody following along with us to the end here, thank you very much and have a great rest of your eWEEK. Thanks for joining us on eWEEK eSpeaks. Go to eWEEK.com to hear more conversations with IT thought leaders.